Welcome back to the Deep Dive. You've provided us with a fantastic, really focused stack of materials today.
Yeah, this is a good one.
And we're skipping the holiday hangover and diving straight into this major tension looming over the Kansas City Chiefs front office.
That's right. I mean, this entire deep dive, it centers on one crucial, almost existential dilemma for the kingdom.
Right.
After a wildly disappointing 6-10 season, they missed the playoffs. The future really hinges on one specific decision.
And that is?
What do they do with veteran cornerback Christian Fulton?
Okay, let's unpack this. Because this isn't just about one player, is it? It's really about the whole philosophy of their hungry rebuild heading into 2026.
It is. The source material lays it out perfectly. It's a classic sports conflict.
The talent versus the availability.
Exactly. The absolute need for top-tier talent clashing, just brutally, with the disaster of his availability and, of course, the cost.
It's the definition of a high-risk, high-reward scenario that's tied to a very, very high-cost contract.
Right. The Chiefs front office, they have to figure out if the player they paid for is still physically capable of, existing on the field.
Or if they have to bite a huge financial bullet and just move on.
Yeah.
So let's start with the immediate context here, the anatomy of this disappointment. That frustrating 20-13 loss to the Denver Broncos on Christmas night, that pretty much cemented it.
It cemented their failure to reach the postseason. And you're right, as soon as that clock hit 0, all the focus shifted. The reflection turned immediately to just how vulnerable this defense had become.
And Fulton was supposed to be the guy to fix that.
He was supposed to be the remedy for that vulnerability. The Chiefs signed him to a 2-year, $20 million deal.
And that was after a really strong 2024 season with the Chargers.
A very strong season. He was identified as a player who looked like he was just hitting his prime. They brought him in specifically to add that veteran spine to the secondary alongside young studs like Trent McDuffie.
But the conflict, the thing that derailed everything in 2025, and I mean everything, was the injury bug.
He just never got right.
Never. He missed crucial time in training camp recovering from that knee surgery. Then, almost as soon as he gets back,
an ankle injury. It sidelined him again.
So that injury timeline, what did it ultimately limit him to?
Just 7 active games. 7. For the entire 2025 season?
Wow.
And that absence, it has a tangible impact that goes way beyond just, not having his talent on the field. It forced defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo to constantly rotate personnel.
Which means the secondary never gets a chance to build chemistry.
Never. They never established that cohesion, that chemistry, which is just fatal in the AFC West.
And this brings us to the core financial problem. The $7 million cap hit he carried in 2025, that was okay.
It was manageable, yeah.
But that number just explodes for next year. You're looking at a potentially crippling $13 million cap hit for 2026.
$13 million.
For a player who has spent more time in the medical tent than on the field for you.
And that contrast, the massive financial commitment for such minimal recent production, that is the pressure cooker that they are operating in right now.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting and why this isn't just an automatic, see you later, thanks for nothing kind of cut.
Right.
The materials you sent us, they highlight one specific dazzling performance that single-handedly complicated this entire offseason plan.
His outing in that final loss to the Broncos.
Yes.
It was a shocking return to form. Analysts are calling it the Denver Flash for a reason. It was the absolute proof of concept for why GM Brett Veach invested in him in the first place.
It showed them the blueprint.
It did.
So let's talk numbers from that one night. He racked up 3 tackles, 3 passes defended.
And that crucial deflection that led directly to Nick Bolton's interception.
That was huge. More importantly, he reportedly blanketed receivers like Courtland Sutton. He played with that physical dominance they've been missing all year.
And here's the number that the front office is looking at over and over again. The passer rating into his coverage that night.
Yeah, go on.
A tiny 48.6.
Okay, so for you listening who doesn't spend your life in advanced NFL statistics, what does 48.6 mean?
It means anything under 70 is great.
Yeah.
Anything under 50 is truly elite, shut-down corner territory. So that one game is show them the player they thought they were signing, fully healthy and totally engaged.
And Coach Andy Reid, he gave the performance his highest possible praise. He said, I thought he played like he was healthy. That's what he's capable of doing.
It validates Veach's original decision, But the question now is, can they afford to chase that potential one more time?
That is the tightrope. Let's dive deeper into his profile then. The talent versus the harsh reality of that injury history. We know his pedigree is solid.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Highly regarded second-round pick by Tennessee, came out of LSU's 2020 national championship team. He fits the mold.
He absolutely fits the mold of that physical corner that every defense wants. 6 feet tall, nearly 200 pounds. He's a guy who excels at press coverage, at disrupting timing right at the line of scrimmage.
And tactically, his skill set is just. It's tailor-made for defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo,
Who the materials affectionately call Spags, the Blitzmaster.
I love that. So explain that for the listener. Why is Fulton the key to unlocking Spags' most aggressive pressures?
Okay, so Spags loves to send the house. He loves to blitz. When he does that, he has to pull bodies out of coverage, which leaves his cornerbacks on islands.
All alone.
All alone. So he needs man coverage specialists who can travel with receivers.
Yeah.
A physical corner like Fulton, he uses his size to jam the receiver at the snap. That one brief disruption.
Buys the pass rush time.
Exactly. It buys guys like Chris Jones up front an extra 1 to 2 seconds to get home, to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
If Fulton is consistently locking down his side of the field, it fundamentally changes how effective every single exotic pressure Spagnuolo calls can be.
So if he's on the field, the entire defense, theoretically, performs at a higher level.
Theoretically.
But here is that massive downside again. Despite all that textbook talent, that perfect tactical fit, availability is the giant flashing red light.
It's the whole issue. We mentioned the 7 games, but look at the actual production. He had only 16 total tackles this year.
16.
Had he played a full 17-game slate at that pace, that would have been tied for a career low. The defense was just forced to continually rotate, relying heavily on less experienced rookies like N. Williams, which
led to some very painful growing pains.
it created a revolving door at corner when what they needed most was consistency.
Which means we have to connect this one decision to the bigger picture. We have to contextualize the Chiefs' defensive struggle against their own historical identity.
And that historical context is everything. This franchise, since moving to Kansas City and Missouri way back in 1963, has always prided itself on having stout defenses.
You think about the ferocious linebackers like Derek Thomas in the 90s.
Or even the recent Dynasty era. The secondary, anchored by Tyrann Mathieu, that was a lockdown unit that helped deliver 3 Super Bowls.
And this 2025 season is just a staggering, painful contrast to that legacy.
The secondary has been defined as the weak link in a profoundly disappointing year. And yeah, injuries to the offense, Mahomes and the backups dealing with late-season knee issues, that certainly hurt.
Of course.
But those vulnerabilities in the passing defense were just continually exposed week after week.
And the stats back that up.
The statistical comparison, it really clarifies the scope of the problem. In their peak years, like 2022, 2023, the Chiefs ranked top 5 in pass yards allowed.
Top 5. And in 2025.
The 2025 passing defense, it ranks firmly in the bottom tier. They were allowing chunk plays consistently, which just puts immense pressure on the offense to be perfect every single drive.
You can't realistically get back to a Super Bowl with a defense that soft.
No way.
Which brings us back, inevitably, to the financial crunch.
No.
We've talked about the $13 million salary hit, but we need to explain the mechanics of why cutting him is still painful, even if they save some money.
Right. The Chiefs are facing what the source calls a daunting 2026 cap crunch.
This is where that specialized knowledge really matters for you, the listener.
It is. If they decide to release Fulton, the common move is a pre-June 1st cut. Now that move, it saves the team about $5 million in cap space for 2026.
Which sounds good.
But it simultaneously hits them with a staggering $8 million in dead money.
Okay, wait, I have to pause you there. For the person prepping for a meeting right now who just wants the bottom line, what is $8 million in dead money, and why is that so rough for the Chiefs right now?
Great question. The simplest way to think of dead money is you're paying for an empty jersey.
Wow.
It's money that was guaranteed in the original contract that still counts against your salary cap, even though the player is no longer on your roster. The source material emphasizes this is not ideal.
Not ideal seems like an understatement.
No, yeah, because that $8 million is sunk cost. It's money that cannot be used to address other urgent needs on the team.
Then what are those urgent needs?
Well, the Chiefs are going to need every single dollar. Chris Jones is often a looming contractual situation. The materials imply the team desperately needs to allocate cap space to the offensive line and maybe a high-end receiving target for Mahomes.
So sacrificing $8 million for a player who isn't even there makes addressing those other gaps significantly harder.
It makes it so much harder that $8 million figure is the true price of this failed experiment.
That is a steep price tag for what amounts to hope. Okay, so let's move to the final synthesis here. The options and the implications for this rebuild. The source material highlights two clear opposing viewpoints.
You've got the talent maximizer viewpoint, often represented by GM Veach.
Yeah.
He's clearly focused on the potential upside he saw in that Denver game.
Quoting him, he's a playmaker. Fulton's got that dog in him.
Exactly. He wants the elite corner he saw that night, the one who completely dominated receivers.
And then you have the pragmatic view, right? The passionate Chiefs Kingdom fan who's asking the obvious question.
13 mil for 7 games. V's got to be smart. Draft another stud.
It's the classic battle between potential and fiscal pragmatism.
It is. And furthermore, the Chiefs can't just look at Fulton in a vacuum because of the ripple effect his decision has on the entire secondary depth chart.
That's a massive complication, because if they release Fulton, they instantly create even more holes.
That's right. The young defensive backs, Joshua Williams and Jalen Watson, they're both hitting free agency.
So they could potentially lose 3 cornerbacks in one offseason.
One disastrous offseason. They need stability, not more turnover.
Which leads to the 2 final prediction paths that are outlined in the materials. Path 1.
Path 1, the cut. They accept the $8 million in dead money. They pivot hard to the draft and to youth, and they use their draft capital to secure high athletic corners. They prioritize certainty and fiscal discipline.
And path 2, which many analysts seem to suspect is what's going to happen.
The restructure. The source suggests that single Denver game was truly plan-altering. They believe the Chiefs will manage to keep it.
But only on their terms.